In this new series, we are going to learn how to use Excel like never before. In this video, I'm going to show you how to clean your data. Most of the times, if we collect data, originally, you discover that there might be one or two issues that we need to take care of before we use our data effectively. For instance, if you look at this data, it looks quite normal. But when we look deeper, we understand that there are some cleaning issues in our data set. Right, so let me show us some of the issues that this data set has. First, look at full name. It's fine, we have names. How about separating them into first name and last name? It's a cleaning activity. Then look at this gender. We have female, male, looks fine, but then you can see male is spelled wrongly here, right? And then female is spelled wrongly here. So we need to clean this. And most of the times, the data will be enormous. It's not something that one will be able to clean it easily, right? So I'm going to show us the steps that we follow to clean our data to make it very usable. Look at age. Here we have a lot of missing values, right? You can see like this Williams White does not have age. Here we have a lot of missing value, Michael Johnson, and the rest of them. So how do we take care of this issue? This other one is number of months. You can see, so we have 17 months, 10 months, 40 months. Let's say we want to just convert this into year to know how many years. Is it up to a year? Is it up to 2 years or something like that? It's a cleaning issue, right? So with all this background, let's dive and see how we can begin to clean our data. First thing I want to do here is to start with column A. I want to separate these names. We have William White. I want to have William in a different column and White in a different column, and we're going to call them first and last name, respectively. So how do we do that? You insert. So we're going to insert a column. Yeah, so this column, we're going to call it last name. Last name. Yeah, so this is fine. So this is the next thing we need to do. We select the entire column, go to data, then we select text to column, right? So delimiter. Delimiter is what separates one entity with another, right? So if you look at the name, we have William White. What separates William as a name and White as another name? It's a space, right? So that's the delimiter. It can be comma. If we have commas separating them, then we are going to see that our delimiter is comma. So we go to next. Alternatively, you can say fixed width. Fixed width is when the first name has a fixed number of characters, which is not the case here. So we rather use delimiter. So you can go to next, and then what is our delimiter? What separates it is space. So we select space. Of course, maybe tab, but space is okay. Right, so we select space. You can see the preview showing us that it has separated these things, right? So we have William, and we have White, Michael, and Johnson. So we can go to next, and we convert their columns. This is general. If we want it to be text, yeah, we can make it text. This one too, we can make it text. If we are separating a numeric value from other characters attached, then we can make the numeric aspect to be numeric, right? So we can just select that. But then for this one, it's just text. If it's date, we do the same thing. Now let's go to the next thing. I'll just select finish. There is already data here. Do you want to replace it? That's this last name that we have. We say, okay. So obviously we have to rename it now and say last name. Very easy. Can you see? So we have this. So this, instead of full name, it becomes first name. And then we have last name. One cleaning activity done. And it's going to do for all our record. You can see. Scroll down, you see everything is clean. Now the next thing is gender. We have a lot of spelling error. Well, how do we look at the places where we have those spelling errors? This is what we do. While selecting your data, you go to filter. Can you see this filter? The funnel sign. So the funnel icon is a filter, you select it, and you now click here. Now, these are the different variations that we have. So many of them. So many of them. So what do? We uncheck all, and we select only the appropriate ones. We select all rather, and we uncheck the appropriate ones. For instance, here I want to have female like this spelled correctly, and I want to also allow the male that is spelled like this correctly. So we have it. Now all the ones that are not spelled correctly will be here. So we can manually correct this, right? Manual. So sometimes you do it manually. If there are many, you can find and replace, right? But here we don't have many, so that's why I'm doing it manually. So you can see I'm correcting all this. Male, I have female. This one we have male. This we have female. So you can see it auto-corrects for us. Male. Then this one is also male. And F will suggest female, of course. And then even the lowercase f, you can just see female. So you can see. That's pretty awesome. Now you can see we have only two variants, right? Male and female, which makes it beautiful. So that's how to clean this. So we can uncheck our filter, and this is fine. Now the question here is age. How do we clean age? We have so many people whose ages are not here. Let's take a look at it. Let's filter it. So if we filter, we're going to have, we uncheck and then go down, you see blank. So blank, these are people that didn't specify their age. A number of them. So how do we do? Now in statistics, most of the times what you do in this scenario is to either ignore them or you put the average value. But the best thing, if you want to perform some analysis, like measures of central tendencies, mean, standard deviation, and the rest of them, is best you replace them with the average. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the average age. Any person whose age is not specified here, we are going to assign the average age to that person, right? So that's what we're going to do. Now we're going to select all except the blank one, and then we have every age that is here. So we now highlight this, just highlight everything, and we can right-click, copy. Now let me show you one trick. If you come here, we can just paste it here, right-click, and you paste as number, paste 1, 2, 3, right? So we have this. Now let's calculate average of these values. So I'll say, I'll click where I want my result to be. I'll say equals, then I'll say average. Average of what? What's the first cell here is I4, so I select I4, and then column, then the last cell, let me just scroll down and see it, where we have the age is this one, so 1, 2, 1, right? So I1, 2, 1. So I'll go back here and say I1, 2, 1, close by braces, and the average is 45. Right, 45.7. So let's just make it 46, right? So since age is an integer, so that's fine. We have the idea. We can go ahead and click delete this one. So we come here, we check, and then we are going to select those that are blank. So we uncheck everything. We only select those that are blank. Say OK, and our age is 46. So we put 46, 46 again. We highlight. And we drag down. Beautiful. You can see. So now let's remove our filter and see what happens. We remove our filter. Now everybody is assigned age. If you don't have age, we just assign the 46, which is the average age. This is awesome and fine. Now let's say we want another column where we're going to, instead of represent number of months, we're going to say year. If it's less than a year, we can just have 0. And if it's a year, 1, 2 years, and the rest of them. So let's insert a new column here, and I will insert it. So instead of number of year, the number of months, we can just say year. Okay? So I'll just say years. So years. Now, what do? This is what we're going to do. We're going to calculate this, right? We're going to use what we call the quotient. The quotient is a formula we can use to perform an integer division. So it doesn't take account of the exponent or the decimals, as we all know. It just gives us the integer. So for instance, 17 by 12, which is number of months, is supposed to be 1 point something. But we are not interested in the decimal part, so it's going to be 1. So let's use the quotient here. We just select here equal, then we say quotient, right? So we select quotient of our cell is F2. So we see F2 by, okay, comma, so we're dividing it by, that's the denominator now, is 12, which is the month. We select here and we hit enter. You can see 1 year, right? Now we can just drag it down and we end up having this, right? Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. You can see where we have like 10 months is less than a year. We have 1 year, 1 year. What about 24? We have 2 years, right? So that's how to work with this, right? So that's how to clean your data. Our data is pretty clean. At least, you know, it looks a bit complete, and we can go ahead and perform some analysis with it. I hope you enjoyed this video.